There he is.
That could be trouble.
What's up, YouTube? In this video, we're going fishing for some monster trout. Let's get straight into this. Okay, fellas, it is the opening day of trout season. Now, the trout are running right now, and they are freshly stocked now, and nobody has snatched them out of the water yet. So, we gotta go find these monster heifers and where they're hiding. But here's the problem. Everyone else is. I mean, it's gonna be an absolute circus out there. So, we gotta find these heifers fast and quick. Now, me and my buddy are using fly rods, and maybe that'll give us an edge, maybe not. But we're gonna be using artificial flies for this one, and not live bait. We're gonna be using the classic fly for an extra challenge, but sadly we probably don't need the extra challenge because, you know, me and my buddy have some troubles with fly fishing. But besides that, it is the opening day of fly season and we need to just get in the rivers. Alright fellas, we have ourselves a nice fancy bright lure. Hopefully get the attention of these degenerates, of course. But today is the opening day of trout. Now, we're in a pretty public river, and it is a packed joint today. So I don't know how many fish we're gonna catch, but we're surely gonna try. Me and my buddy Jake are gonna hike all the way down river if we have to get ourselves a big old heifer trout. But besides that, I'll catch y'all fellas when we hopefully have something. Okay fellas, so me and my buddy have reached the rivers now, and it is an absolute circus like what I was saying. I mean, it is an absolute mess out here, but there are signs of life. Now, what you've seen fellas come up the creek with loads of trout in their hands. We have seen some with fly rods now, with nothing to catch a thing. So, we might be coming out here with the wrong gear. Now, what is working is salted minnows and worms. Now, they are hitting on the flies, not as hard as they're hitting on the spinning, reels, and with the worms and the salted minnows. But we have to try, of course, and see what these heifers are like, and maybe we can flip the bill, because it is getting later in the day, and those flies are gonna be, landing on the water, and they may change their hunger, and they may come out and, start snatching those flies. But besides that, we need to start casting. What are you switching to? Status update, we have a big problem. We've been fishing for about 2 hours now and we've not had a single bite. We've had bites around us from more experienced and seasoned fellers, but for us, it is an absolute show. But that is not the problem. The creeks are becoming way more crowded. I mean, there is like a fly fisherman or fisherman in general. Every 20 yards there's some guy in one hole, and and then another 20 yards there's a guy up on the bank, and then another 20 yards there's some guy using whatever. But besides that, it is an absolute circus out here. So me and my buddy are retreating for the morning. We're gonna be regrouping at a more secluded creek now, where the heifers are gonna be less pressured, and of course they may be lacking what we're serving. But besides that, we just need to get to the new waters. So my buddy Jake has retreated wisely, and I've got an invite from one of my other friends that he's found where the trout are hiding, of course. Of course, he's using a spinning wheel rod, what the fish are liking, and of course the trout are liking, more or less, and he's using worms. Now, that is the right strategy to go with. I'm going to be more of a stubborn ass, and I'm going to be using my fly rod still, with, of course, the clutch flies. We may switch over to, some, worms later, but besides that, we're gonna be testing out the old flies. Maybe they're liking it now since it's way later in the day and the water is warmed up a bit. But besides that, we found them where they're hiding and we gotta go catch them all. Never seen him that big before. So, my buddy has caught a pretty big trophy chub. A creek chub to be more precise. Now, this is a, pretty big king daddy chub. Now, this chub is probably the king of the creek. And this is a pretty heavily populated creek by these heifers. So to catch this heifer is a pretty nice. But besides that, the trout are being a bit elusive. And we gotta find where these heifers are hiding, because they're just dashing up and down the creek like it's nobody's business. But besides that, we just need to get back on these heifers.
The trout's just behind the suckers.
Sweet.
Oh. Get him. Come here.
Thank you. There he is.
Knew that could be trouble. I got wires for him anyway in the bucket. They won't hurt them none.
Well, fellas, my buddy has caught a pretty snazzy bottom feeder. Now, this bottom feeder is a pretty big heifer, but that was not the fish we were going after. The fish we were going after was a degenerate, a rainbow trout to be more precise, who was not liking the worms. I mean, the worm was touching right in front of his tongue and face, but he was not biting for it. I think this is a smarter fish. Now, he's probably been around the block a few times, gotten a few, snags in the mouth, and, of course, he doesn't want to, be licking that bait anymore, so he's a smart heifer, and just wait for that little degenerate bottom feeder fish to go and swoop in, just go, because, that bottom feeder, it's a degenerate. But besides that, the trout are still around, and of course, those bottom feeders are too. We'll catch them too, but besides that, we need to get back on the fish. Sadly, the fish have smartened up and they got out of Dodge. We pulled off that charade for a long time before those, degenerates start getting smart and wising up and not taking the worms. But besides that, it was still a pretty good opening day of trout. Sadly, we did not catch any of the, legendary heifer trout, but we caught ourselves a pretty legendary creek chub, and of course a snazzy bottom feeder fish. Now, I don't know what kind of bottom feeder fish is, because, I'm stupid, but besides that, it was still a snazzy fish. But sadly, and of course, this means is the end of the fishing trip. Thanks for watching. If you guys want to get ahead of 99% of turkey hunters, video down here. And of course, you guys want to see our last trout fishing video down here. But besides that, I'll see you on the next video. See ya.